everyone, and welcome down to Penguin Beach. So my name is Jax, and behind the camera we have Igor, and we're so excited to welcome you down to the outer parts of our left wing today. And this is Leopard's Pathway down to Stony Point. And we are so excited to be in the sunshine with you all today. It is a beautiful day. We've got some lovely plans for you. And we wanted to start off in the secret path, which is just to the left of Stony Point. And we thought we might start off with some flowers. So these are our Blombos Flowers, and just a reminder that we are a live show, so please send us in your comments and questions. And today we also have a poll for you all Penguin Beachers. We want to know who you think is more dramatic, myself or Igor behind the camera, and whoever wins the award of being the most dramatic penguin beacher will get a crown to wear that they have to wear the whole of tomorrow, I believe. So what you're going to do is you're going to scan that QR code on the side of your screen so that you're able to send in who's more dramatic, myself or Igor. You can also register on our website and send in comments and questions and stories there if you would like. So please do let us know who is more dramatic, myself or Igor. And let's start with some beautiful flowers, so synonymous with the Southern Cape, these Blombos flowers that we have. In Penguin Beach, as you can hear, the sounds are very different here in the Fynbos. But let's go have a look at the weather before we get started with today's show. So we are trying very hard to show you a new animal on Penguin Beach. We have a beautiful little honeybee who is trying to collect some pollen from the Blombos. And these Blombos flowers can smell like two different things. So sometimes they smell really sweet and very beautiful when they're attracting these honeybees. And at other times, the flowers will smell like socks to attract flies. It looks like this bee doesn't want to be on camera. And Eagle's not very impressed with my pun. But if ever you are in Cape Town, if you're ever in the Western Cape, when you go down to the beach, you're probably going to find these Blombos flowers, and I really, really recommend that you take a moment to stop and actually smell the flowers. These are very sweet and beautiful.
I still can't believe the amount of oxpeckers on this poor hippopotamus. It's almost more oxpecker than skin at the moment. They do seem to be retreating now, it's heading into the water. Maybe that's what you should have done first there. Wow, they really are. That's an effective method there, hippopotamus. Well done. And oh, they go.
Villy, so that's a very good question. Sorry, you'll see that I'm working on my arm strength by carrying the tripod on today's show. So Villy, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. So we tried to look up how many plant species are found in Stony Point, and not even the man who manages the area knows. Igor says he'd like to also work on his arm strength and carry that tripod. And what I also have here is actually the crown, the award for the most dramatic drama llama on Penguin Beach. And this is going to go to either Igor or I by the end of the show. Philly, I will try to have a look again and see what I can find. I believe in this area there are about 900 species of fynbos in the mountains. But actually I want Igor to turn around. I want him to show you the sites behind us, because in between the fynbos here we have a lot of alien vegetation. And what the alien vegetation can do is it can reduce the number of indigenous plants. And so I wouldn't say we have 900 species of fynbos in this area. You can see it's quite thick when it comes to its dune, sort of the dune thicket that we have here. But I will have a look and I'll see if Byron might be able to give us a better answer to that question. But what I can show you is several different species of daisy. So the common blombos, this flower that we were looking at, is a species of daisy, and just behind Igor, we also have another species of daisies. It's a purple daisy, and so just in this area we have 3 or 4 different species of daisy, which is quite lovely. And I have a very limited flower book, so I had a look to try and see if I could identify this one. And I need to really buy myself a fynbos flower book. In the fynbos kingdom, you have over 9,000 different species of flower, and it's impossible for any one book to include all of that. So we do try our best to find things, but it can sometimes be a bit tricky with the fynbos. But I think what we'll do is we are going to head off to the beach now and go and have a look at that degraded kelp that Igor and I were talking about yesterday. Igor's trying to get the tripod on his back. I'm just going to help him do that. Let me carry this. Jesse, that's a very interesting question. Can't think of anything. There were honey badgers in the Overberg region, so they are thought to be something that occurs or used to occur here. Igor, can you think of anything that would eat honey? That's the only one I can really think of.
Honeybirds.
Honeybirds, honey guides.
Honey guides.
I don't think we have honey guides here, to my knowledge, so we'll go have a look. But I'm pretty sure we don't have honey guides in this area. So I'm walking backwards. I've got the dangerous job.
You can walk forward.
Let's go down to the beach and have a look. So here we have some more coastal daisies growing alongside. And this is the flower season in the Cape, so this is a beautiful time of year to visit us down here at Stony Point. So we've got a couple of daisies there, and then we've got some yellow daisies around.
We protect and reconnect nature across southern Africa. We bring countries together to care for wild spaces that stretch beyond borders. We protect and restore biodiversity. We prioritize the people living in these landscapes, enabling them to thrive in harmony with nature. We are restoring tomorrow.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
I want to sit up here. Look at why the penguin's moving away. Madison, so nothing that I see in front of us. There is the Cape Honeysuckle, which can be brewed into a tea. And that is a plant that we have not at Stony Point itself, but just past Stony Point. And it is still a plant that I hope to show you on the show at some point. So we will have a look for that. Blombos, to my knowledge, you can't grow into a tea. What's your favorite plant, Igor? The fig. Can you use that to brew a tea?
I think you can, but I think Byron would be a better person to ask this question to. He's a very, very good fynbos guy. My fynbos knowledge is extremely limited.
Byron is the fynbos guy down here, and I think he is definitely worth asking. So I've just set up the tripod for Igor, so we're gonna have to see how good I'd be at being an Igor based on how well this tripod has been set up. And the reason I wanted us to set up here is because the penguins are all moving towards the island, and I couldn't figure out exactly why. So you can see they all have their backs to us now. So I thought something might have spooked them, but I don't think it was us. It's very interesting. Ella, I hope that you stay as awesome as you are. I love your questions, and even more than your questions, I love that you give Igor just as much trouble as what I do. And Penguin Beaches, before the show we were talking about it, and I think many of you do come down here at some point, and if ever you see us, please say hello. Not if we are live. If we are live, what you will see is me panicking at you, and so Igor is going to show you what this looks like. But if we are before or after the show, please come and say hello, because I'm going to greet you first, because we don't know if you know us. So if we're live, you'll see me going like this, trying to stop you, trying to ask you not to talk to us. But let's head on back to the penguins.
What's our hand signal for live?
The hand signal for live is this, it's L, but I never use that one. So if ever we're approached, I always just try and point to the camera and try and point to the microphone that people can't see. I'm always very panicky about this. So if ever you're here at the Penguin Beach time, that's what you'll see. But if you're around before, please say hello. And the reason I bring this up is because if you see us before or after the show, you might see that Igor and I are play fighting, and it is truly a play fight. We quite enjoy to give each other a bit of rough and tumble, fight. I think most young animals do this to learn important skills, and I think we're still in that young animal stage. But if you see us fighting, please don't be alarmed. It's normal. If you see Igor and I being kind to each other, that means we've actually really had a bit of a rumble. So but please do say hello to us. If you're down here before or after the show, we want to say hi. And I think we're both pretty dramatic, so I'm very interested to see who wins this poll.
Here at WildEarth, we want you to learn as much about the wild as possible. Sadly, we can't answer all the questions on Safari Live, so we've come up with a new way to solve the problem.
I love answering your questions, and now I have the chance to answer even more. Sign up to be a WildEarth Explorer, and you can join me on July the 6th after the Sunset Safari here at the beautiful Amakala Game Reserve. Have your questions ready.
WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited Safari Guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth Explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity.
So what I'd love to do is for Eagle to try and get his shadow so you can see how fantastic he looks in this unicorn crown. You can just see the top of the crown there in between the kelp. And if you want to vote in that poll, you're just going to scan the QR code on your screen and it's going to take you right to the exact place you need to be able to vote. I think that's not worked all that well, but we do want to go have a look at this sand in front of us here anyway. So this is that degradated kelp that we were looking at, and you can see as we step there are so many beach hoppers that just start to come out of the soil, and I think that they really aerate and engineer the soil. You can see it's really fine. Igor says he thinks that it's actually very nutritious and nothing would grow here because of the salt and because of the sea. But you can see most soil doesn't look quite like that, and I think that's due to the beach hoppers moving in and out of it and adding bits of kelp into the soil. And this is not really soil actually, it's beach sand, and in here you can see fragments of shell and rock. And I've actually got beach hoppers in my hand who will try and burrow in between my fingers, and as I move the sand will try and hop out of my hands. I'm actually just gonna pour that down. But I do find this is absolutely incredible how many, there must be millions of beach hoppers living in sand around the world.
You see that holdfast next to the dune spinach there?
This one.
Yeah, don't lift it up yet, you will see that.
So Igor wants to do a little test, so we're going to lift up this holdfast, and you'll see how many erupt from underneath the So Igor says that you could hear that, which is really cool. And I know that we don't like bugs on us, especially when you're on the beach, you're trying to catch some sun, but they are super important. Arctic circles, so that's a really good question to ask, because there's nothing worse than going down to the beach and wanting to relax and then there's bugs on you. So with these bugs I wouldn't worry at all, because they only really climb over you if there's a bit of kelp around. So if you lay your towel down away from the kelp, you should be fine. Very occasionally you do get those pesky horseflies, and I've had them in the Cape, I've had them in the Seychelles, and that's the only bug that I've really had bad experiences with on the beach. And if you are using insect repellent, I recommend trying to use something that's environmentally friendly, like citronella, just to make sure that we're not adding dangerous chemicals to our beach environment. But here, I think once you actually see what they are, because I used to be terrified and think that they were really gross and icky, but once you know what it is, which is essentially just beach hoppers and sea slaters, and you know that they're not here to bite us, they're not really here to crawl over us, their main goal is to be in the sand when it's hot, then I think once you know what it is, I feel that way apart from spiders. I'm terrified of spiders, but with these little creatures on the beach, now that I know what they are, they bother me a lot less. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, Penguin Beaches. I don't know if you've ever had that same experience where once you find out what something is, it's less terrifying. Igor, I don't know if that's...
Are they insects or crustaceans?
I believe they are isopods. I believe they're part of the arthropod family, but I think that they're isopods within that. So they're not an insect, in fact, but they are an arthropod, and all insects are part of that arthropod grouping. But I think we're going to head off from this area. I hope you enjoyed that. It sounded like Crackle and Pops, like the cereal that you used to get when you were young. So I hope you enjoyed getting to hear that. And I think we're going to slowly head off because we've got a lot that we want to show you today.
It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole. WildEarth's weekend at the waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the waterhole.
Linda, I would say yes. Dussies like to feed on absolutely anything. So they love the June spinach, but they also go into people's gardens and they'll eat any flowers and plants. They can sometimes be considered a bit of a pest, depending on who you ask. But Igor's found some really young, very beautiful June spinach, and you can see the little water molecules, the little cells that store the water. But I was actually not so clever because I tasted it without knowing what it was, because I suspected it was June spinach. I don't recommend doing that if you'd like to live. But these fresh leaves are actually the leaves that you're supposed to be eating. And Cedric double-backed on what he said on the show when he did taste the June spinach. He decided later he didn't like the aftertaste. But this fresh June spinach actually is very vinegary. It's really nice. I quite like it. And it's really crunchy. I like the fresh.
Slightly salty.
It's got more of a vinegar taste, although it is a little bit salty actually from the sea. I guess I would say that. Very good. Okay, we are on the move. We're going.
Oh no, actually I wanted to just put the camera down. I wanted to try it as well.
Oh, okay. Igor wants to try it. So I'm actually going to hold the camera. We'll see how well this goes, Penguin Beaches.
I just untangle myself.
Aaron, that is a very good question. So Igor is hopping into frame.
So just the fresh leaves?
Just the fresh leaves. So, June, because it grows on the dunes.
It's actually cool. I wanna see if we can get a close-up of this. So, let's see if it can focus there.
Not sure.
I just want to show how juicy it actually is.
Oh, there we go.
So that's just one little leaf.
It stores a lot of moisture.
Yeah. Okay, now it's time for the taste test.
So Igor's going to taste. So June spinach is called June spinach because it grows in abundance on the dunes. I'm not entirely sure why spinach is in there. I think because it's maybe easily grown and popular. And spinach, as we know, is very easy to grow, the ones that you grow in your garden.
That's actually really good.
It's good, right?
It's so good.
Put that in a salad with some feta.
I would eat this. I mean, I would grow it just to eat it. That's really, really good.
So
Much better than the kelp yesterday.
Igor rates that June spinach.
The kelp was not that great.
You tasted the worst part of the kelp, in fairness to the kelp.
That's delicious.
Are you going to take a snack with you to go?
Yeah, I think I might actually be a Dussie.
Okay, Igor's getting his camera back. And that's just a taster of what it would be if I was on the camera and Igor was guiding. But let's head off. But just to finish that question, Aaron, about the dune spinach. So I think it's because it grows very easily and it grows on dunes because it resembles no spinach at all. I'm just going to untangle Igor and then we are going to be on the move.
Well, I'm just trying to get kitted up here again. Might be a bit shaky.
So Igor's just putting his backpack on. I do think it's amazing. We never talk about this, but for us to give the show to you, Igor has to wear a backpack that's attached to the camera. And with that, there's Wi-Fi. And somehow that's sent to Joburg and then sent to you. It's all very complicated. I don't fully understand it.
It works with magic.
But it's a really cool system, and it's amazing to be able to do that live. So we are heading off. I'm not even sure we're going to get to where I really want to go today, because we've already found so many things. But we're making our way into the left wing. So if you'd like to exercise with the tripod, you can just make sure you're holding it like that and slowly lift it.
WildEarth have really inspired me to return to South Africa after having followed so many beautiful characters. This Ticket to Dream has given me a great opportunity to meet the WildEarth team, which I thank. They're all amazing. I love all of the characters, but I do have a particular passion for leopards. It's a dream, and as I said before, I just keep on pinching myself. Am I really here?
Penguin Beaches, I do have to share. Our dear sweet Igor has confused the sound of the oyster catchers that have just landed with the crazy eights. So he stopped. He's like, no, I want to listen to the crazy eights calling, because he didn't see the oyster catchers land. And Danielle, I'm also loving showing you these new sounds and these fynbos sounds and the sounds of the beach hoppers. And we did love to show you, or we loved showing you the sounds from the African black oyster catcher. And Mel, our director, is calling Igor an amateur, but it does happen to the best of us.
In my defense, the Egyptian geese and oyster catchers look basically identical. They're very hard to identify, so...
Igor's saying it's too close. It reminds me when I was doing my guiding course. You can actually see the unicorn horn quite well if you follow me there. When I was doing my guiding course in the Baluli, we were driving and I was on the tracker's seat, and they said, so I was tracking. I'm not the best tracker, but I was tracking, and I heard the sound of lions, and it sounded like they were on a kill. So I told the people I was with, like, I think we've got lions somewhere that you can hear they're on a kill. And the lady who was doing the course said, no, it's the dacard, it's the little antelope. I was like, that's not an antelope's call. And sure enough, we sort of drove around the bend and under a bridge causeway and over the road, and there was a nice big pride of female lions that had killed. I can't even remember what it was at the time, but. People get confused about sounds, especially if their mind is somewhere else. But let's keep going. Let's keep walking. And I'm wearing the unicorn hat, or the crown at the moment, out of convenience and not because I have one.
Circle. Oh, clearly know me too well. I would have to say no, but that would also be like trying to compare a tractor to a Ferrari. They're both really good, but just for different things. I don't think I'd be able to choose. Would I eat dune spinach first thing in the morning to try and help wake me up? I don't think so, but I also wouldn't pour coffee over my salad.
And there you have Igor at his best.
Any words this side?
So we're just walking through a busy section now on the path towards Hideaway. And I'm still carrying the steer tripod, which we love to have with us because it makes the shots really nice and stable. But it's a bit tricky for Igor to do it all. Moonbeam Smith, so funny enough, that's exactly what I was thinking, is that would actually be a great thing if you were, stranded in the southwestern Cape, which would be unlikely, but perhaps maybe you're walking on the beach. There's a walk that you do between Hermanus and Gansbaai that's a very long walk, and people often get dehydrated. You could definitely actually eat some dune spinach and you would get water from it, and then you would be able to get some moisture. So I think that is very possible. I think that's actually a really great idea. And we're just moving along. There's actually a kelp gull eating something there that we might want to have a look at. So I'm gonna, ooh, he just fell off the rock. So I'm gonna set up, are you gonna watch me do this? Okay. So I have never owned my own tripod. The only time I've used a tripod is when my dad's telescope came out in Kruger, or at the sea. I don't know how high Igor would like this. I think the point of a tripod is to make sure all the legs are the same height, I think.
You're doing great, Jack.
But You also do something similar to a tripod when you are studying whales. It's the same thing you use, I can't remember what it's called now, for studying whales, and you've also got to level it. But what we're going to do, we're going to pop the camera on top there, and while
It's got to bubble this little camera in focus.
So while you can still see that crown and remember the pole, if you scan the QR code, just a reminder that that's probably the easiest way to let us know who is more dramatic, Igor the insufferable or Jax, I can't think of what would rhyme.
Jax
Give me
needs
one.
to relax.
Jax who needs to relax, yes.
Jax panic.
There we go, Jax panic. Okay, we were looking at the kelp gull. He was eating, I don't know if it's already swallowed it. I think he might have. No, he's not. Okay, so that kelp gull, he's got I think that's the wing of another bird. Yeah, that is. I think that's part of it's either a penguin or a sacred ibis. Do you see it there?
Yeah, I did.
I wonder. What do you think it is? Igor?
Can't really tell yet. I do see some what looks like white feathers, so it could be a hard-lip skull.
There's a lot of black on there that makes me think it's sacred ibis, but then that would be quite a big. It would be a hard thing to miss. So kelp gulls will eat anything, and I'm pretty sure kelp gulls will actually eat their own. They will also eat their own kind. I would have no doubt about that. So Mel, as Director is saying, it does look very feathery, and I agree. I don't know if penguin feathers just seem a lot more fine, but the skull is pulling it. Is that a penguin?
It actually does look like one. Right?
Now it looks like a penguin. So you can see he's on the purple lava. All of that dead seaweed is.
Apex predator of Stony Point.
I think what my synopsis would be is that there was a penguin who was eaten by a seal or killed by a seal, and then the rest of the body washed up, and that's what the kelp gull is enjoying. So this is very sad. Obviously, we don't want to lose any penguins from our population, but this is also the circle of life. And kelp gulls do make sure that our beaches are clean. They're very much like your vultures that make sure that your environment is clean and that you don't have decaying matter all over. These guys are calling and calling. And
Would you say that they're like the hyenas of the seabird family?
I would, yeah. Paul, I think this is actually the first time I've had it on the show. Igor and I have had, at Hideaway, we've had this before the show, and by the time the show had started, this had ended. So very cool to be able to show you this, although it is a bit sad. And the cattle egret just sits there. He is not worried. He is not stressed. I don't think they have an inborn fear of kelp gulls like our seabirds do.
I think humans have an inborn fear of kelp gulls.
Oh, look. Oh, the penguins. There's a real live penguin who's just arrived off the sea, out of the sea. So we'll just watch him for a second.
If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose. Here at WildEarth, we want you to learn as much about the wild as possible. Sadly, we can't answer all the questions on Safari Live, so we've come up with a new way to solve the problem.
I love answering your questions, and now I have the chance to answer even more. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer, and you can join me on July the 6th after the Sunset Safari here at the beautiful Amakala Game Reserve. Have your questions ready.
WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
So Raymond, that red spot on the beak is actually a spot the adults have where the chicks can peck on it and then they will regurgitate. And something that I'm seeing now that's very interesting is that there's people who are standing very close to the slipway, and unbeknownst to them, they've actually scared the kelp gull off of the penguin. And this is a very good example of how far away you have to be. So there was a study done where kelp gulls react to threats 30 meters away. Would you say that's about 30 meters? I'd say maybe that's even 50 between the slipway and the the gull.
I think it's closer to 30.
I think it's closer to 30. So that's the one thing that these kelp gulls are scared of. Hardlips gulls will take your chips. They have no, South Africa we say no scam, they have no shame. They're not shy about it. But kelp gulls are sometimes still wary of us. But there you can see the red spot on the beak. So if a juvenile picks that spot, that causes involuntary regurgitation. So the gull doesn't want to throw up, but as soon as something picks there, it's going to throw up. And I think when we have watched penguins with their chicks, you'll see that the chicks are always pecking at the beak of the parents. And I've seen that with most birds. They peck at the beak. They don't all have that regurgitation spot. But it does seem to be the way that they initiate getting fed. An interesting sight for us today. Very unexpected. So Igor thinks this is a juvenile penguin, a little blue. And there are some of these blues that are not doing so well at the moment. So Sandcop does their very best to try and attend to all of our young penguins, but it sounds like some of the penguins are not getting enough food. And so if a young penguin is a little bit weak, there's a chance that the gulls might actually try to go after it, or if it had to pass by the nest, the gulls would certainly walk through the colony and very likely pull it out, although this is on the seashore. Very, very different sight down here. So kelp gulls are predators, so they can catch their own food, but they are also scavengers.
Hi, I am David. I come to you live from the Mana Triangle, all the way from Kenya.
This is not a postcard. This is real sunrise in the beautiful Masai Mara.
Here on WildEarth, we love it when you interact with our guides while they are live. In order to do this, you must head over to wildearth.tv/questions and submit your questions, comments, and suggestions. Simple as that. And to make it even simpler, from time to time, you will see a QR code on your screen. Open your camera phone and scan this code, and it will take you straight to where you need to be. We look forward to answering your questions on this channel.
preen it out quite a lot. I think my reference to this is finding birds that have died on the seashore, and they're usually covered in sand. So I think it's very likely that they get sand on their feathers, and they will either bath it out, so they'll hop into the water, or they will preen it out. But you never, it's funny, sometimes you see it with the penguins in the colony with mud. They'll have like a really dark chest because they were lying in the mud. But you never look at a bird and think, oh, he's a bit sandy. I think that they shake it off and they clean themselves so that it never sticks around on their bodies for very long. That's a very interesting question, because they do always seem to look very neat, and they don't look like they have sand in the way that, you know, elephants are often covered in sand, which they do on purpose. I know that I'm always getting dirty, even when I try not to. I've always got sand on my knees or mud on my shoes. Birds, I think, stay clean, because the cleaner they look, the more attractive they are to potential mates. So the brighter their feathers, the more they groom themselves, the more attractive they are to other birds. Apparently it makes them more successful breeders. So good hygiene is very important in the bird kingdom. And I think that food has moved out of our view. What I wanted to see, could you get a view of those penguins there at that nest? Would that be possible, Igor?
Yeah, they're just people walking by.
Okay. So we're on a busy section of the path. Oh, I think this, is that a bird bathing or is that a seal? No, it's a bird bathing. So we're just going to wait for people to walk past us, and then we are going to go and have a look at a penguin that's using some of the alien vegetation to its advantage. So what they've done in this area is they've come up with an ingenious way to use alien vegetation. In fact, we could actually look just in front of us to line the areas where they want the penguins to nest. This is called roykrans, and it grows quite prolifically. I think it was used as a dune stabilizer. A good example of humans trying to do things and making a bit of a mistake. But I think roykrans was planted as a dune stabilizer, and then we realized it was taking over. But now dead roykrans is used to make areas for penguins to nest. So they burrow under the roykrans, which then gets covered in dune spinach. So hands-off conservation is best, but in times where that's not entirely possible, there is some really great innovation out there. What would you like to do now, Igor? Would you like to go back to the goal? Do you want to keep moving? Go have a look for some dusties? Igor says we're going on the hunt. We're going to go look for some other animals. I think we're going to go look for some dussies. And we're going to take you into some of the old whaling areas down here at Stony Point. So the area in front of us now is where they used to bring the whales up, and they used to process the whales here.
Here at WildEarth, we promised great monthly prizes for our explorers, and this month is no exception. If you join our club before the 10th of July, then you stand a chance to win a fabulous Safari Guide online course brought to you by Bushwise Field Guides. They specialize in accredited safari guide training with courses tailored for the African safari lodge industry. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer today and don't miss out on this life-changing opportunity. It's time to put your feet up after a long week. WildEarth invites you to unwind with a weekend at the Waterhole, our life source of the bush, home to so much joy and danger. Join us on the 9th and 10th of July to get your wildlife refill broadcasted to you live all weekend at the Waterhole.
So we're just setting up in this corner now. Dark-Mayed Lover, that's a really good question. I wouldn't say many seabirds are considered to be vastly intelligent. I'd say your gulls, because your gulls just learn so quickly, and gulls teach each other really bad habits. So I would say gulls. That would be my vote, because they seem to have culture, and they do, yeah, they teach each other bad things. They teach each other to peck at whales. They teach each other how to open bin bags. They teach each other how to, go after penguin eggs. So if one gull starts doing something, they all start doing it. But we're going to set up here now because we are looking at the old blubber processing area. So you can see it's been reduced to almost rubble. And we're going to show you some urban wildlife. So the Dussie got a fright when we clipped the camera in. But I think we might start off with two very cute little blues who are sitting outside the nest, and the one looks a little bit fatter than the other one, the one to the left. And they look like they are ready for mom or dad to come home and give them a snack. And so where we're standing right now is where they used to pull the whales up, and they would process the whales here. And we're going to actually show you the railway line, or the track where they used to pull the whales from the slipway using a winch. And we're showing this to you just to show you how, it's 100 years, 110 years ago that this was done. And nature has reclaimed it. The Dussies now love these block walls because they go into them, and they can hide from predators. And your little penguins will have their parents make nests around these walls, burrow under the cement. And it does seem that penguins like to burrow against rock and against cement. I don't know if we'll get that. Do you see that fight? It's just stopped between those two penguins outside of the nest. So we had two penguins really sparring. Nadia, I think those penguins have the hunger blues. They look like, I think both Igor and myself, when neither of us have eaten and we get a little bit miserable. Igor's much worse at that than I am, if I'm honest. I only sometimes get hangry. Igor is often Igor's laughing. He's disagreeing.
No, I'm
Igor is a different person before and after food. So those penguins have stopped fighting, but a little face has popped out to say hello. And this is what we want to show you, is an animal species that has reclaimed from humans in so many areas in South Africa. And that is the rock hyrax, which no one calls a hyrax. We call them Dussies. He just wanted to give us a quick view. And just go to where he went, like Dussies and penguins have made paths between those trees. It's actually really cool to see. If you zoom into those trees, you can see the bottom of the vegetation is completely open, because that's where the animals are moving through. So over many years, the animals have almost pruned that tree to suit their agenda, to suit them being able to move through these under thickets. When I just saw I saw a robin. We might actually catch some other birds. Penguin Beaches, let us know if you enjoy filming at the spot. Let us know if you enjoy these different views. You don't always come to this area.
WildEarth's weekend at the waterhole is going to be epic, and we want to make sure that you are kitted out for the occasion. We've launched some wonderful merchandise just for you. Are you a dam cam lover? Find these and more on our website. So get your snacks ready, put your feet up, and join us for a weekend at the waterhole. If you would like to be a part of the team that shares the wildebeest migration in Kenya live on WildEarth, then we have some great news for you. There are a few places left to join our expeditions in August and September this year. You'll be staying in an exclusive tented camp with ensuite bedrooms nestled in the riverine woodlands of the Talek River. Head over to our website to book your bucket list experience today. WildEarth Expeditions. Travel with purpose.
So we are having a look at these two juvenile penguins. And we're finding out. So, Penguin Beaches, I've just had the answer to the poll, and the Drama Alama Award at Penguin Beach has been handed by a landslide down to Igor Potgieter. So Igor is very excited that he's been voted the Drama Llama of the show. And what we're going to do is Igor's going to take his headphones off and take the bag off, because I'd like to present in front of the camera. Are we just going to do it so that we're not going to disturb the penguins? You wouldn't think that someone would be that excited to be the Drama Llama, but here we are. Now, I could not find a llama crown. Surprisingly, they don't exist. But I think that this unicorn crown is so sufficient in what I will actually do. So, I think I haven't been to a school award show in a very long time. I think we shake hands first, don't we? I think so. I think we shake hands.
We bow, right?
We could bow. Okay. I suppose. How do we bow?
Kneel.
You can kneel, yes, so that I can get it on your head. Okay, Penguin Beaches, there we have it. The Drama Llama of Penguin Beach, Igor Potgieter. And the thing actually says Drama Llama, so you have no...
I hope that was
no
in frame.
confusion.
I couldn't see.
Are we gonna let me be behind the camera and we can just get a view of you in case we didn't?
How was I in frame there?
Let's see. I think we should give a close-up view, as long as Eagle shows me with the I just want to get a close-up view of the horn on his face. So just show me with the, is that the zoom there, up the top there?
Yeah, but that's the broken one, it doesn't work.
What zoom would you like me to use? Ah, fantastic, okay. So we're just going to turn towards Igor. So Igor is going to go there, and we're just going to get a close look. Oh, sorry, my zooming is awful today. Sorry, Penguin Beaches, you can't see that it says Drama Llama. Look towards me.
It's so bright.
So you can kind of see, there we go, Drama Llama, the official award. So I'm going to move away from Igor now and let him come back behind the camera. You can see the back of the ears there. And zoom out a bit and give you a view of our penguins. There we go. Okay. We only have 6 minutes left of this show.
You want to do the rails? Let's go wrap on the rails.
Okay, yeah, so Igor really wants us to do the rails. We are also going to be sending you over to Safari in just a moment. Cedric is looking for June spinach and tumour. He's also going to be doing some tracking, and I think he's going to be spending some time with Queen Tea and the Cubbies. So I think Cedric wants to prove that he either likes or dislikes June spinach. We'll have to see how that goes. Liam is on a bumble. So he's going to Chitwa Dam, which seems to be his favourite place. He's going to go look for lions and...
My favourite place.
And Igor says his favourite place and Liam's is the same. Chris is going to be following up on lion tracks and looking for some small creatures for you. Rolf is excited to be on the waterholes and see what they might have to offer. And Amakala sounds like they've got some rain. So unfortunately it seems that Lauren won't be heading out, but hopefully the rain stops and she's able to go out and drive.
Here at WildEarth, we want you to learn as much about the wild as possible. Sadly, we can't answer all the questions on Safari Live, so we've come up with a new way to solve the problem.
I love answering your questions, and now I have the chance to answer even more. Sign up to be a WildEarth explorer, and you can join me on July the 6th after the Sunset Safari here at the beautiful Amakhala Game Reserve. Have your questions ready.
WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature. The Masai Mara in Kenya, a remote landscape where wilderness reigns. Its inspirational beauty captivates the hearts of many around the world. This year, from August, WildEarth is leading a number of unique expeditions to follow Africa's greatest wildebeest migration here in the Masai Mara. And now, the remaining places have been discounted by 20%. Head over to our website to find out.
So we're in a very concrete setting right now, but I wanted to show you something that most of us, including myself, would miss unless somebody pointed it out. If you have a look here, you'll just see the faint line of rail, which reminds us of a different time, 100 years ago, where people were not coming here to see penguins and crown drama llamas. So this was a railway. And this was used to bring up parts of the whale to the factory behind us. So we're quite lucky that that stopped over a century ago now, and that this is a stronghold for the African penguin. This is the home of so many of the beautiful animals that we get to show you on our show. And I always say this, and I don't think I'll ever stop saying it, that that's part of why I love Stony Point so much, is that this is a site of animals reclaiming their wild spaces and being able to live in harmony with humans and in areas where humans live and work and enjoy themselves. And so if you ever do come down to Stony Point, have a look on the floor, have a look for the old signs of the past, but also celebrate the fact that this is now a conservation station, a conservation area, and in fact a marine protected area designed to protect our African penguins, our Cape cormorants, and our beautiful, beautiful wildlife. Samantha, I could not agree more. I think this is a beautiful success story, and one that we can talk more about as we go into whale season, and we can talk about how our whales have recovered from those days. But we have had such a fun time with you all today. Thank you for crowning Igor the drama llama. He will now have to wear that on his show tomorrow. He might have to wear that forever. We have not decided that yet. But thank you for watching. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for going on a walk with us today. And we will be seeing you again tomorrow. So I think we'll spend our last little bit of time trying to find some nature in one of the more concrete parts of our our penguin watching area. I think, are you trying to put the hat on me, Igor? Are you trying to make me the drama llama? Enjoy your afternoon, and thank you again for watching, everybody.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.